Okay, it says I'm live. I can't ever tell if anyone hears me, so hopefully this works well. I've been gone a long time, but I just wanted to check in, say hi to everybody. I do miss my corporate buddies, siblings, and I have a work husband and a work wife. But let's get right into it. So, how's it going, guys? I just wanted to stop in. I posted yesterday that I sold an app for a little over $1,000, doing some dev work with React, and that required me to get back into chops that I'd lost. I had to since 2021 though, when I was working at EY, I was taking the weekends, stopped gaming as much and started programming again. It was so hard, so many new technologies that you have to do. But that's probably not why you clicked in. You want to hear, what do you mean, don't fight the Fed? Well, you're going to see my eyes kind of going up and down here as I make some notes. So, in the world that I live in now, which is a blockchain world, there's something that's known as choke point 2.0. And we've been watching it happen since 2022, where the opinion is that the Federal Reserve is trying to choke out any competition when it comes to stable coins, and the collateral damage has been FTX, Voyager, Luna, you name it, and now it seems to be focused on Binance. And I'm not saying the guy's the best guy, but he's the last hope we have for a decentralized mechanism. The Fed was really, in my opinion, this is all opinion, they're trying to stave off competition. The Fed's charter is to protect the dollar. And where did they do it? As they get into CBDC, you can even see Senator Elizabeth Warren, who was like, I don't like crypto, to now saying, well, this is different. And this isn't a political thing. Everybody, in my opinion, is trying to save the best country in the world. So what I've learned is you can't listen to YouTube influencers. You can't read Medium articles or Substacks. You just have to participate in it. And while I was in the corporate world, it was really hard to do that because you're so busy every day. You're giving your client, especially if you're a consultant, you're giving your client 100%. And so you can't look at what's actually happening. So I just want to kind of give you a little bit of eyes into the non-corporate world, what it's like living outside of the corporate world. And this time last year, I was sitting pretty, and now I'm just able to live without knowing that I don't need a job or to work, have a boss, that kind of thing. I'm not saying that will be forever, but it's definitely for now. So what you're hearing in the blockchain crypto space is a lot of Fed FUD. I got some notes here. So the Fed is has a series of processes, and the next step is, in my opinion, is direct access for taxes. People bring up great points about stablecoins to launch in Europe, but would that be seen as some type of financial sanction? It's really crazy the way it's working. But the Fed was ruthless, but smart. Originally, they heard of this currency idea, and they just kind of laughed it off. Even I was like, nope, because I knew at the time ignorantly that the government thought there would be competition. If they thought it would be competition to its dollar, they'd prosecute. And as a fledgling security person at that time, so this was like 2009 when I got laid off from AOL. I realized that it could be perceived by a lot of powerful people as something bad. Let's just fast forward until 2021, where I saw this effort to play down or just call blockchain technology just something that, they're criminals. But remember, a lot of the AOL folks, remember, like we were telling people we worked at AOL and they're like, oh, only criminals do that. Or you'd be on call and you'd get a page and people are like, what are you, a drug dealer? So, but what I started to see was the same kind of, as time progressed, you started to see a lot of similarities with people trying to control things. But this time, it seemed to be the Fed was behind it. And I started to understand a little bit more about why they would, because should crypto have taken over, it hurts the American dollar. If we don't have a dollar, the dollar doesn't work, we're in bad shape. A lot of the world's in bad shape. So they hired Gensler. And Gensler was like the biggest proponent of crypto. And then he became the biggest, hacker of getting all crypto out. And I still couldn't understand it, but it's starting to come into focus a little bit more about what's happening there. And this is my opinion, but I just think that they're saying, hey, we don't want stable coins. We want you to have the CDBC, and we want that to be the primary source that people are pairing to. If you're going to have a token, no pairing it with this fake dollar stuff that's hurting the American dollar. But you're going to pair it with the CDBC. We can track your taxes. And a lot of the free people in blockchain go, what are you talking about? We had complete freedom. We had anonymity. That's not true. One of the biggest things that people talk about is how, criminals and they can get away with stuff. But not really. The blockchain is a ledger. And so every action that you take is recorded. You can't hide stuff. The Tornado Cash developer, I still don't know what happened to him, who would hide stuff. That didn't work out well. But you're starting to see this whole move to, public, we don't care. We just want this new technology of blockchain to work. And then AI appeared. And that caused a fast acceleration. The Fed was already raising rates, which was taking all of the risk capital out of blockchain. People were going, I don't know what to do, but I'll leave it to you to do the research and open source. But you can take a look at, what banks are going through right now with clients saying, I don't want 0% anymore in my savings account. I want 4%. I'm not going to get 1 billion% like they promise in crypto, but they're starting to become smarter investors. People are starting to understand that when you allow a bank to have your money, you're kind of saying, hey, let's do a little give and take. I'll give you my paycheck and you can go invest in things, but why don't you pay me back as opposed to the profits going on? But going back to what the Fed was doing, they're saying we can't allow this to continue to happen. We have to compete. I think it's like, what did they say? They laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Well, when AI came into place, things just took off. But the Fed, having now raised rates so much, they have something to play with. They have something to back up this digital dollar. And just recently, they sold a lot of Bitcoin. And that kind of shows you where they're going to go, in my opinion. And so you can't see this stuff when you're working 24/7 and you're working your heart out. You can only listen to what I would consider, this is going to sound too political, but it's really corporate news. You're not going to hear the stuff that's going on. You're going to get cliff notes. You're going to get the headlines and, hear about dangerous stuff or this and that. Well, there's just a lot of people, specifically developers, who are out here changing a lot of what you're seeing. AI has just enhanced that. There's not a day that goes by anymore that I'm not talking to a language learning model. An LLM or ChatGPT. There's not a day that goes by. I broke up with Jasper, which was another AI engine that gave you more current information. But I went back to ChatGPT because as I was programming a lot, it really made it almost compulsory that you use it. It's like having a junior dev. Initially, I went in thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna be like Tony Stark. I'm gonna have a Jarvis." It's not there yet. As a matter of fact, ChatGPT 3.5, if you've ever seen the movie with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, where I think it's 99 Dates, ChatGPT just forgets. Like you could be working on a solution, it goes, like you say, "Hey, what does this code look like?" "Oh, this code is good." "Well, you missed. Why did you take out this section?" "I apologize. I'll put that section back in." Then it puts the section back in, but you have another error. So you say, "I'm getting this error." "Oh, if you're having errors, you should look through your code." And you're like, "Wait, now ChatGPT 4, it keeps a concise understanding of what you're talking about in the chat session. And though you can only get like 25 chats going, so you have to pause for an hour, but it's still more concise and it's able to help you, but it's still a junior developer and not there. Going back to the developer side, what you saw last year was a crazy amount of blockchain developers, but according to GitHub right now, not a lot of devs are checking things in for blockchain specifically. But that's because a lot of us are learning. So you have this big economic boom that could be happening, and you see innovation being stifled because the Fed keeps raising the rates, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. They are going to stop inflation, and they're going to roll out this digital dollar. And you can either be afraid or you can be scared. And I'm going to choose to be neither. There is innovation afoot with AI technology, with blockchain technology, the security that lies within. It's happening. Take a look at Wyoming. I'm not going to tell you to trust anything I'm saying. I'm going to say, do the research. This is a much bigger story than what you're going to hear if you just read headlines. You have to participate in it. You have to be a part of it. And it's harder to do that when you've got to feed your kids, which I don't have, yay. But, keep your eyes open. Things, I think, in 2023 are really going to change, especially after the Fed decides, hey, you know what? We have to now start printing again. And then people will get back in. But, the criminals will be there. You have to do solid due diligence. You can't trust the word of an influencer. You have to do your own research. Trust in professionals. Be safe. But, remember, the most important part is you can't fight the Fed.